Ein Gedi, Part 2. After King David cut off the corner of the cloak of King Saul, Saul left the cave, and David got up, and the verse in Shmuel Aleph, chapter 24, verse 9 says as follows: Vayakam David acharechein, and David too got up. Vayetzei me'ama'ara, and he came out of the cave, and he saw Saul, King Saul, 40 or 50 feet away from him as he walked away from that cave. Vayikra acharei Shaul lemor, he called after the king and he said, Adoni HaMelech, my master the king. Vayabeit Shaul acharav, and Shaul turned behind him to look who was calling him. Vayikra David arpaim artza vayishtachu, and David bowed to the ground before the king in homage to the king. Vayomer David l'Shaul, lama tishma divrei adam lemor, hine David mevakesh ra'atecha. Why are you listening to Lashon Hara about me, that David seeks evil against you? Today, see with your own eyes. God has placed you in my hand in the cave today. And he said, I could kill you. And I had pity on you, I had compassion upon you. Who I will not lift my hand against the king, because you are the anointed of Hashem. Va'avi re'i, and my father, he called him my father, he was his father-in-law. Va'avi re'i, my father-in-law, see. Re'i at kinaf mi'ilcha biyadi, look at the corner of your cloak in my hand. I have cut off the cloak, the corner of your cloak in my hand. Ki bechorti as kinaf mi'ilcha velo harakticha. Since I have cut off the corner of your coat and have not killed you, you should know and see that there is no evil or rebellion in my heart. I did not sin against you, I did not kill you. And you are hunting me to capture me. And I could have killed you, but look King Shaul, I have the cloak in my hand. I could have killed you. I was just close to you, and I could have killed you, and I did not. I held myself back. Yishpat Hashem b'ni uvenecha, may God judge between you and me, King Saul. Unekami Hashem imeka v'yadi lo tiabach. May Hashem judge between me and you. May Hashem avenge me from you. But my hand will not act against you. Kasher yomar meshala kodmi, as the ancient proverb says, wickedness issues from the wicked, but my hand will not act against you. After whom has the king gone out? After whom has the king of Israel gone out? Whom are you pursuing? After someone as insignificant as a dead dog? After a single flea? May Hashem be an arbiter and judge between me and you. May God see and take up my grievance and vindicate me from your hand, O king. And King Saul answered and said,
ויקח לו דוד לדבר את הדברים האלה אל שאול. And it was after David was finished speaking these words to Shaul. ויאמר שאול, and Shaul said, הקולך זה בני דוד? Is it your voice, my son David? וישא שאול קולו ויבך. And Shaul started to weep. ויאמר אל דוד, and he said to David, Tzaddik ata mimeni, you are more righteous than me. Ki ata gmaltani hatova, because you did good to me. V'ani gmalticha hara, and I did bad to you. V'ata higadeta hayom et asher asita iti tova, and you told me today that you did good to me. Et asher sagarani Hashem beyadecha velo raktani. And you told me that Hashem delivered you into my hands, and you did not kill me. Ki matzeh ish et oivo v'shilcho baderech tova. Is there such a thing that a person finds his enemy and he lets him go in peace? Hashem yishalmecha tova tachat hayom hazeh asher asita li. Hashem shall pay you back for the good that you've done to me. Ve'ata hine yadati ki melech timloch acharai וקמה ממלכות ישראל בידיך.
And it means,
And now I surely know that you shall sure be the next king over Israel, and kingship will be established in your hands.
this interchange between King David and King Saul. King David was already king, anointed by Shmuel Hanavi, a number of weeks beforehand. And at that time, the Me'il, the cloak of Shaul HaMelech, was once again torn away. As Shmuel tried to tear away, to leave Shmuel after failing to kill the sheep of the Amalekites. And he tried to go away from Shmuel. And he turned from Shmuel. And Shmuel grabbed his cloak. And his cloak, says Rashi, tore. There's a machlokes as to whether it was Shmuel's cloak that was torn or it was Shaul's cloak that was torn. And Rashi says two pshatim. And we're going with the pshat that it was the cloak of King Saul at that time, weeks beforehand, before this event in Gedi, that his cloak was torn. And God said, and Shmuel said to him, God has torn from you today your malchus. He's torn away from you your malchusecha. The exact words are, Vayasef Shmuel aleches vayechazek b'knaf me'ilo vayikara. And Rashi says that he tore, that David will tear the kingship from you. And now it happened. Now in this cave, David did tear, once again, the corner of his me'il, the corner of his cloak, a second time, once by Shmuel Hanavi and now by King David. What does this represent? Why twice does this me'il represent? What is this me'il, this corner of a cloak? What is a me'il? What does it represent? What is the deeper meaning? Why is this place, En Gedi, so beautiful? What beauty happened in this place? Besides the tznius, the modesty of King Saul, what else happened here that caused this place to be so Gan Edendik, so En Gedi-dik, so beautiful? Look behind me. Behind me are the cliffs, the Mitzulot En Gedi, the cliffs of En Gedi. And before me is the Dead Sea. And behind the Dead Sea is the plains of Moab. What a beautiful scene, what a beautiful place. Most incredible, beautiful place in the world. And the Gemara in Zvachim, page 88b, says the following. Me'il, what is a me'il? What is the me'il of the Kohen Gadol? What is the blue techeles me'il, the overcoat of the Kohen Gadol? What did it do? Says the Gemara in Zvachim, page 88b. Me'il mechaper al lashon hara. Minayin, from where? From where do we know that the me'il, the cloak of the Kohen Gadol, atoned for lashon hara? Amar Rabbi Chanina, Yava davar shebekol v'yechaper al kol hara. Something which has a kol, a voice, at the bottom of the me'il, on the shulav, on the hem of the me'il, there were pomegranates and bells, cloth pomegranates and bells, and they made a sound, they made a noise. And as the Kohen Gadol walked toward the Mikdash, he walked toward the Beis HaMikdash, there was a sound coming, a sweet ringing sound, a bell sound. And the Gemara says that the sound of Lashon Hara was counteracted by the sound of the Kohen Gadol. And therefore the atonement occurred when the Kohen Gadol would walk into the Holy of Holies and walk toward the Mikdash to do the Avodah, whether it was Yom Kippur or at other times. He wore the eight begadim at usual times, and only white begadim, white clothing on Yom Kippur. When he wore those beautiful clothes, the me'il, with the hem, with pomegranates and bells, and he made a sound, that sound atoned for the sound of Lashon Hara. What does this mean? The Maharsha explains as follows. Kol v'dibura ose maaseh. When we do an act of Lashon Hara, when we speak Lashon Hara, it creates an action. It creates a physical reality, says the Maharsha. Upu'ula. What does it do? Livrolo mekatre yechad. It creates a prosecuting angel. It creates a spiritual force called a prosecuting angel who can speak against us when we go to Shamayim. V'zeha me'ilhu behepech. And this me'il, this cloak of the Kohen Gadol, was the opposite, the opposing force against the mekatreg, the prosecuting angel. As it says, Dichtiv Bey, Benishma kolo bevo el hakodesh, his sound of the rimonium, the bells, was heard as the Kohen Gadol would come toward the Mikdash, toward the temple. Shakol ze mavriach esa mekatregim, BaDerech bo'o. The voice of the bells of the Kohen Gadol walking toward the Mikdash to do the Avodas Hashem, to use his voice in prayer, was the counteraction, was the midah keneged midah against the negative forces, the mekatregim, the negative voices, and therefore it caused them to dissipate, mavriach, to run away, to disappear. And what does it mean, BaDerech bo'o LaMikdash? What does it mean that the Kohen Gadol was on his way to come to the Mikdash? To use his words properly, his words to connect to Hashem in prayer. And the proper use of dibur, the proper use of connecting to Hashem with dibur, with tefillah, is the counteracting force, the midah keneged midah, the measure for measure force against lashon hara, evil speech. Saul was the one who spoke lashon hara about King David and told Yehonatan that he wanted to kill him, and everyone knew that he wanted to kill King David. And he used negative words against King David to pursue him. And therefore, in this place there was lashon hara. This place was counteracted by the lashon tov of King David. David said, I will not hurt the Mashiach Hashem. I will not act against the Mashiach Hashem. I will not speak lashon hara against you. And therefore, in this place, the lashon tov of David counteracted the lashon hara of King Saul. Look at Ein Gedi. Look at the beauty of Ein Gedi. Why is it so beautiful? Because in this place, there was a counteracting, a measure for measure against lashon hara. Lashon hara of King Saul was counteracted by the lashon tov of King David. That's why, as a reward for not speaking lashon hara, but for speaking lashon tov, for Mashiach Hashem, the anointed one of Hashem, this is why it's called Gan Eden, Ein Gedi. This is a taste of which is right here. The taste of Gan Eden and Ein Gedi are the same words as of Gan Eden. A taste of Gan Eden is right here. The beauty, the physical beauty of Ein Gedi is reflected right here because there's a spiritual beauty. And the spiritual beauty of lashon tov of King David, saying, I will not hurt the Mashiach Hashem, counteracted the lashon hara of Saul HaMelech, and therefore that's why this place expresses so much beauty. Take a look at this beauty. Enjoy this beauty. Experience this beauty. For me, the most beautiful place in the world, Ein Gedi. And I understand, and I'm sharing with you this idea, that this is beautiful because there's a spiritual beauty here. The beauty of modesty, of Saul's modesty, of wearing that cloak and protecting himself as he went to the bathroom in this ma'ara, in this cave, and that protected him from King David. He had mercy on him because of his modesty as king of Israel. And the modesty of King David as he spoke lashon tov, not lashon hara. He could have killed him. Habal horgecha hashkem lahorgo. He could have killed him in self-defense, but he didn't. And he spoke lashon tov only about the king. And that merit King David, David Melech Yisrael, Chai v'Kayam. King David lives forever.